Good morning, students of grade 8. Today, inshallah, we're gonna start in chapter 4. So we already done of section 1 and section 2 of chapter 3. We studied what is a mineral and how to identify a mineral or the identity of a mineral. So then we are gonna pass to chapter 4 now, and we study the first section, which is the rock cycle. So here, let's start by the beginning, as we said. So here we should know what our goals or our objectives in that lesson. So first one, describe two ways rock have been used by humans. Describe four processes that shapes Earth's feature, and describe how each type of rock changes into another type as it moves through the rock cycle. List two characteristics of rocks that are used to help classify it. So that's our objective here. So we start by beginning. So as we said in chapter 3, that minerals concern the building blocks of rocks. So simply when we say what is a rock, so we could find that rock is a solid substance which is made of combination of minerals. So here like this, we could know that rock is a natural material that is already found in nature that made of different minerals combined together, and sometimes may include organic materials that mean remains of living organisms, okay, or something that are produced inside living organisms. But so here like this, we said that rock is a naturally occurring solid mixture of one or more minerals or organic material. Then we said that new rocks actually they are formed from old rock. That's which give a hint about the cycle. What is a cycle? So like any cycle or definition of any cycle is just a kind of a changes, okay, kind of transformation from one form to another, okay, that keep moving in a cycle. That mean an old rock produce a new rock, and that new rock after time it will be old and then change it to another rock and keep so on like that, okay. So here, like this, we said the rock cycle, it's considered a sequence of changes that shape or that change a rock from one type to another. So here we said that the series of processes in which a rock forms the changes from one type to another, that is a rock cycle. So we said that is this, so the old rock will be destroyed and then will be reformed, or we're gonna be form a new rock by certain geological processes, or there are some processes that could make this transformation or this kind of change. So here, guys, the first definition we have is rock cycle, which is a group of changes or processes in which an old rock change into another type of a rock. Okay. So here, as we could see, this diagram represents the idea of the rock cycle. Okay. So we could find that actually the origin of all rocks is the magma. Magma are molten rocks which found inside the core of the earth. So they are molten rocks, which means they are rocks found in liquid state or somehow liquid state because of the high pressure and temperature which found under the ground. So the temperature is too high; it could exceed 3,500 degrees Celsius. Okay, so they are molten already. Once there are some volcanic eruptions or there are some cracks in the Earth's crust, magma finds its way to go up on the surface of the Earth. So once it go up to the surface of the Earth, it starts to cool down. So the first process that start to form rocks is cooling. So the magma will cool down and solidify, forming igneous rock. So igneous rock, they are the rocks which is directly formed of solidifying and cooling of magma. So igneous rock, they are gonna be on the surface of the Earth, okay, and forming a lot of rocks. Then later, or as time passes, and once we talk about time here, we talk about hundreds of years, maybe thousands of years. Okay, so that's long time, yes, because these processes actually are very too slow processes. So like this, we're gonna find that take long time. And regarding that, the Earth already have a very long age. The age of the Earth is about 4.6 billion years. So we refer that we have already enough time that these processes happen that reshaped the Earth till our moment. So we find the igneous rock will, for a long time will be exposed to the weathering and erosion factor. What I mean by weathering? Weathering means the weather factors like sunlight rays, different temperature, the different precipitations, wind, they are gonna break down the rocks and turn it into small pieces. We call them sediments. Then later, because of some factors like gravity, like water, like wind, these pieces will not be in their position. They will be moved from one place to another. So the movement of sediments from one place to another, we call this erosion. So we find these sediments, the small pieces of rocks, will be transferred to another place. Once they are deposited or fall down, as years pass, these parts are gonna be compacted, okay, that because of the pressure, they will be stick to each other and cement, okay, and form a new kind of rock, which is a sedimentary rock. Sedimentary rock also, it could be exposed to some factors or some conditions like high pressure and heat, okay, which are caused due to the contact with magma. That means the sedimentary rocks, once magma, they are moving underground. So the rocks which is around surround the crack that magma moves in, the rocks will be exposed to a high pressure and temperature that cause the change in their chemical structure. So they cause a process we call them metamorphases that create a new type of rock, which is metamorphic rock. This metamorphic rock may expose to high temperature because of the different movements of the tectonic plates of the earth. So sometimes earthquakes, cracks, or something like this cause some of these metamorphic rocks to be buried under the ground, so they expose to high temperature and they will melt, forming magma again. The idea here that the rock cycle is not just follow or move in one direction only, as we can see like this. No, we have many alternatives. For example, we could find that the sedimentary rock, they may expose to heat and pressure to turn into metamorphic rock, or they may burn underground and melt directly to form a magma. Igneous rock, they may be exposed to weathering and erosion factors which create sedimentary rock, or even if they are exposed to enough heat and pressure, so they may turn to metamorphic rock directly. The metamorphic rocks also, okay, instead of be melting, okay, because of high pressure, high temperature, they could be exposed to weathering and erosion, okay, factors, so they create sedimentary rock. So like that, from this diagram, we could figure out there are some processes or geological processes, these processes which reshape the, or that's reform new types of rocks or change an old type of rock to a new type of rock. So that's mean an igneous rock or metamorphic rock, if both any one of them exposed to weathering and erosion, they will create a sedimentary rock. If a sedimentary rock or an igneous rock, they exposed to high pressure and temperature, so they will form a metamorphic rock. If a metamorphic rock or sedimentary rock, both of them, they exposed to high temperature under the underground, they melt and form magma that will pass out to the surface later and form igneous rock. So that means any rock could change to any other type if it exposed to the conditions which create that type. So here we find that there are the different processes that we could depend on to, okay, or that could create different kinds of rocks. So here we said that what are the value for rock, why we study rock, and that changes of rock or something like this. So we said that rock actually they are very very important from long time ago because we use it as a kind of resource we depend on in a lot of purposes in our daily life. So from ancient and modern civilizations, okay, we are using different kind of rock like granite, limestone, marble, sandstone, slate, okay, like in construction as a construction materials. Different buildings, okay, which we already build, we depend on rocks to build them, okay. Also here we find rock also is a very important ingredient in concrete, okay. Concrete, that means the mix of cement and different materials which we use to build our buildings, okay. And also they are used in construction. So here it represents how much value the rock are. Beside that, already some rocks, they may contain some minerals or some ores which are very very important. For example, some rocks, they contain the ore of iron, so we could extract iron from that rocks and we use it for different purposes. Some rocks already, they contain some useful materials, like for example there are rocks of halite that contain table salt or the salt in ACl that we could use it in different purposes and so on. So like this, guys, we have an overview, okay, overview image about the rock cycle, and we know what are the value of the rocks. That's our lesson for today. Next time, inshallah, we're going to continue our lesson. Please study this part well from your textbook, and if you have any question, you can contact me anytime. Thank you. Goodbye.